I thank the NU management for giving me this opportunity to talk on a subject which is very passionate and to my heart. And as you all know that today is the National Dengue Day, and we are all observing it, National Dengue Day. The reason why we do this National Dengue Day is that this is the beginning of the season of the dengue in India. And we also, of course, we also have the World Dengue Day coming very soon. So this year's theme for National Dengue Day is Act Early, Prevent Dengue, Clean Surroundings and Healthy Living. That is the theme for this year, so that we can always proactively act in the early days so that we can detect and survey the breeding places and take necessary actions. How we are going to take these necessary actions during the survey and after the survey, what does it mean to us as a professionals, we are going to discuss on that. So for me, the most liking theme, which I like the more, is the keep dengue at bay every single day. So this is not just one day's activity. So we need to keep our environment clean. The habit of keeping our environment clean, our surroundings clean, our street clean, our village clean, our township clean, and our country clean is the prime importance of this particular slogan, which was kept by our former directorates of the government of India, is that keep dengue at bay every single day. So this is what really means a lot for me. So to understand what we are going to cover today is the mosquitoes introduction, mosquitoes biology a little bit, and then also the mosquitoes management. Since our time is a little short, so we'll be covering a little faster. And then I will be talking more about the practical aspects of the mosquito management, giving a little bit of emphasis on the products, what type of tools we have in the range of, in the portfolio of NVU. I'll be discussing more. And we already have the Q&A session. So if you have any questions, please jot it down and then we can discuss them. And of course, NVU, the officials and then the technical persons from the NVU are already always with you. And accessible with you, so that you can always discuss with them. And of course, most of the partners in pest management professionals do have my contact details. So I'll be more than happy to answer your questions even after the session is over. So basically what we need to do is, before using game-changing technology, you have to know what game you are playing. So without knowing what game you are playing, and then if you start using your weapons and tools and knowledge, it gives no results at all, absolutely no results. So it's better to understand what we are going to do, what type of tools we have, what type of techniques we can have. So that's why we need to have and understand this very, very clearly. So to understand that, we need to become the experts. Once you find yourself what is the level of expertise you have, and develop your expertise by participating in the webinars like this, which are being conducted by the organizations like NVU. So you become an expert yourself. And once you become the expert, right people will find you automatically. So this is a great business opportunity for us as a pest management professionals to equip ourselves, to sharpen our knowledge, to get more and more knowledge about the updated technologies which are available and which are being introduced by the companies like NVU. So this is very, very important. Knowledge participation. Today, you are more than 200 or more than 400 registrations have received, and then I'm very happy to see already more than 210 people participating in this webinar, and hopefully there will be more people joining this. Thank you very much for that. If you want to catch a fish, you should think like a fish. So if you want to catch a mosquito, you should exactly think like a mosquito, so that you can catch them early and then do the justice for whatever the job you are assigned for. So to that, we need to understand what is the mosquitoes, what do they do, where do breed, and then where they hide. All these aspects one should be aware, not too much details, at least a minimum knowledge we need to have, so that it will help us in our day-to-day activities. We all know that the world's deadliest animal is the mosquito. So more than 7,25,000 people die every year because of the mosquito-borne diseases. Of course, next comes the human beings, 4,75,000, and other animals cause little damage. So to respect mosquito, to honor mosquito in a lighter sense, we have World tropical diseases, neglected tropical disease day, we observe it on 30th June. World Malaria Day we have on 25th of April. National Dengue Day, which we are observing today. World Pest Day on 6th June, which is going to come. World Dengue Day is coming on 15th of June. World Mosquito Day is on 28th of August. And there are several days to talk about mosquitoes. So these are more days for mosquitoes than our daily personal life. So we have only one marriage anniversary or birthday or wedding anniversary or something like that. But for mosquito, you see, so many days are being observed for mosquito. This clearly shows the importance of mosquito, which its role in our lives. What is a mosquito? Mosquitoes comes under the order Diptera. Diptera means di means two, pteron means wings. Two pairs of wings they have, and the name of the mosquito comes from a Spanish word mosca, which means little fly. So in India, in Hindi we call them as machars. In Bengali we call them masha, and in Gujarati machar. In Kannada we have solle. In Malayalam we kotu. And Marathi we call them das, and Odia we call masha, Punjabi we call it machar, and Tamil we call it as kosu, in Telugu we call them as doma, in Urdu we call it as machar, in Konkan we call it as jalari. So here, whatever the name it is there, but the work, the job it does is the same. So you also can see here the word mashaka or masha in Bengali and in Sanskrit, which is also closely related to mosquito, maska, mosca, masha. And in Telugu, we call them as doma. And then I can say that proudly or unproudly, there is one place in Hyderabad which is named after mosquitoes, which is known as Domalgoda, so near the Tank Bund area. Perhaps this is one of the very rare places which is named after the mosquitoes. To understand the morphology of mosquitoes, I'm not going to details of the morphology. Head, it has got head, thorax, and abdomen. And the thorax is very, very important here. The part of thorax is very, very important because the thorax contains, it is attached with 3 pairs of the legs and 2 pairs of the wings. Of course, only one pair we can see them. So generally, we all call them AI, artificial intelligence. So this is also known as Anil's intelligence. Anil's intelligence is not as good as artificial intelligence. Sorry for that. And origin. So the mosquitoes have got its origin more than 2 million years ago, whereas in comparison to the human beings, which is just 2 million years ago. So which means they have more adaptability, more genetically or DNA wise, they have more capability to adapt to the conditions which are there on the earth. So whatever technologies we do, whatever new weapons we bring in to combat mosquitoes, they always try to adapt themselves by way of resistance, by way of tolerance, by way of avoidance. And so that's the reason when we need to have much of knowledge requirement to understand their changing behaviors on day-to-day basis in the sense. So we are also identifying new genera of mosquitoes or new species of mosquitoes. Almost a few species of mosquitoes are identified and described. Besides that, we also have a lot of sibling species. The species is the same, but there will be a similar close species which behave differently, and they are all also known as sibling species. They have different type of capabilities of disease spreading, etc., etc. This is our problem adding by mosquitoes by themselves as they are evolving regularly. So can I have next slide, please? So they have the lot of, so suddenly somebody was asking me one question, how many mosquitoes are there in the world? We all know that human count. Is there any count for mosquitoes? I was doing a little bit of research, and then I found in some textbook, the mosquito textbook, which is written by Timothy, it was mentioned about 110 trillion mosquitoes are there on Earth. So they made a little scientifically, it's not just a thumb figure, they made a little bit scientific way of calculating that, and then they came out with this figure. So this is just an interesting fact which I picked up from one of these books. So they are present everywhere: Antarctica, Iceland, some Micronesian islands. These islands, they don't have the mosquitoes, except that entire globe is having mosquitoes. Wherever human being is there, wherever the hosts are there, they can survive, and then they can exist there. So in total, there have 41 different types of genera and more than 3,570 species of mosquitoes, and this count is going every day. And in India, we have more than 400 different species of mosquitoes, and Out of them, in total, we have 88 species of mosquitoes which are potentially can transmit diseases to human beings. Next slide, please. So some interesting fact, the size is about 3 to 6 millimeters, which is very, very small. And as you see them, just imagine a 3 to 6 millimeters size mosquito is terrifying a 6-foot tall human being. So this is the power of a mosquito. Only females bite, males do not bite. And they take a blood meal of 3.5 microliters per single feed. And they can fly at a speed of 2.5 kilometers per hour. And this is a normal stage. When they are attacked by or chased by a racket, an electric racket, they can go much faster flying. Their lifespan is basically 3 to 7 days for males, and then the females can live up to a month and 40 days. And the itching, so generally people ask, why do we get itching after the bite of mosquitoes? Generally what they do is, while they are biting, they release the saliva, and then saliva gets dried up. They have the proteins and anti-coagulant materials, and they become the crystals, and these crystals will give us a bit of itching. And then the sound of mosquitoes basically is from the wing beats. So some mosquitoes which are bigger in size, they beat the wings much faster, so that we have the bigger sound. And the mosquitoes which are smaller in size, body size, they have the wing beat frequency less, so we don't hear much of sound. That's why in our medical entomology parlance, we always say that Anopheles neither sings nor stings. So we also have some blood groups liking for mosquitoes. Usually O group blood group people are more attracted to the mosquitoes. The reasons are being investigated. There are no conclusive reasons why they are particular blood groups are more attracted to mosquitoes, but it is general observations or studies show that O group blood group persons will attract mosquitoes more. Next slide, please. And why do we control mosquitoes? Because of nuisance and because they transmit diseases. That's why we call them as vectors. Next, please. We have the diseases. Several diseases are being transmitted by mosquitoes: malaria and dengue, chikungunya, Japanese encephalitis, West Nile, yellow fever, Zika, and filariasis. These are the top diseases which are being transmitted by mosquitoes. Of course, there are small other diseases which are transmitted by mosquitoes. So which are not very prominent, but they might definitely become prominent as we are spreading our travel and areas and urbanization, other things. Will create some conditions where new emerging disease will come. Say, for example, the Zika is one good example. Similarly, chikungunya and dengue are also another examples, as we are doing afforestation and cutting the trees and then reducing the forest. The diseases like yellow fevers, Zika, and dengue and chikungunya do come into the main habitats. Next slide, please. So more than 7,25,000 people die each year due to mosquito-borne diseases. Next, please. So mosquitoes are nuisance in many countries. We have already seen some schools, residential schools we are doing. They are putting all the students who are studying in the night after their school days. These are residential schools. They are covered under mosquito nets. And we also see in some places like Gujarat where the cattle and buffaloes and these are all more prime members of the families. They also protect the buffaloes and cows with the mosquito nets so that they can give a good yield of milk. And we have seen here on the right side photograph a security guard who's taking rest near. This is happened. This is photograph taken from Chennai. You can see hundreds of mosquitoes biting him on his forearm. So they cause a lot of nuisance. And malaria, if you see, there are 2 billion people at risk. Infects 10 people every second, kills 1 million every year. That is 3,000 a day. It's simply put, that is 2 people every minute and 1 person every 30 seconds. Of course, this figure is now coming to reducing because the malaria is being controlled very well with the help of the World Health Organization strategies, and then very good products being launched by the companies like NU. The products are being used, and malaria is coming back under control right now. Next, please. So this is the population at risk of vector-borne diseases in 1990, how it's happening, and 2085, the spread is going to happen much wider, and then it is estimated by the World Health Organization and some agencies who are doing the predictive models for the vector-borne diseases. They estimate that more than 3/4, more than 75% of the total global population will be under risk of the vector-borne diseases, and especially the mosquito-borne diseases. Next slide, please. We have three different types of mosquitoes. We have Aedes mosquitoes, we have Culex mosquitoes, we have Anopheles mosquitoes causing different types of diseases and having different types of behaviors. So we have Aedes mosquitoes, which usually transmit dengue and chikungunya, besides the other diseases like yellow fever. And we have Culex mosquitoes, which transmit Japanese encephalitis and filariasis. And we have Anopheles mosquitoes, which mainly transmit the malaria. This is the single mosquito which causes more deaths than most of the wars put together. Next slide, please. So we need to identify the males and females. The males are smaller in size. They have the feathery antenna, mustache like antenna on the head side. They are very feeble and they don't bite. They don't have the biting type of mouth parts. Whereas females are slightly bigger in size. They are little blackish in color also sometimes, and they are the ones which come and bite us. So they are the ones which feed the blood from us or animals. So this is a simple way of identifying them. Of course, the male mosquitoes live shorter, almost not more than 3 to 7 days, whereas female mosquitoes live up to 30 days to 40 days. Next, please. And the host seeking, this is quite interesting things. We need to understand also CO2, carbon dioxide, which we emit from our body, will attract mosquitoes. The smell, the sebum, the sweat, the bacteria, the lactic acid, octanols, and ammonia, they play a major role in attracting mosquitoes towards us. And this is very important as pest management professionals, because people do ask us, if you are having a pregnant lady or women, they are more prone for biting of mosquitoes, because they shed more of the lactic acid through their pores of the skin, and also the sebum also will be secreted from them, so they are more prone. That's why we need to protect the pregnant women. And similarly, the children below 5 years, they also have a lot of lactic acid content in their body. They sweat the lactic acid content through their sweat. That's why they were more prone for the mosquito bites. That's why you see the figures. If you see the dengue and chikungunya cases, you see most of the times you see children are more vulnerable, and pregnant women are more vulnerable. You have seen them in Zika incidences in Brazil and Latin America. So this is the reason why the mosquitoes do bite the people who are having high content of sebum, sweat, bacteria, lactic acid, and octanols. Dark color also do attract mosquitoes. So people who are wearing dark color clothes or black or darkish colors, they do tend to attract more mosquitoes. Temperature of the body, higher temperature of the body do attract mosquitoes. Blood group, as we discussed, O group is more attractive to the mosquito bites. Next, please. So these are the drivers for emergence of vector-borne diseases. On this slide itself, we can talk hours together, or entire day. We can have a session on these characters or these drivers. One is the globalization. The second one is land usage change, and then climate change and evolution. What we call it as globalization, the pathogen introduction with the humans and mosquitoes. The malaria is now known in areas which is not known, reported in the past. Say, for example, Rajasthan. Earlier, the malaria was not reported, but suddenly we have a spike of malaria cases. We also see some malaria cases going up into the Jammu and Kashmir areas, and we have seen some cases of dengue and dengue viruses in European countries like the France, southern France, and also in UK. Some cases are reported. This is all because of the globalization, the vector introduction, because of the flights, people are going, the economy is growing up, and host introduction, the people migrating from one place to other place, rural areas to urban areas, people are coming with the parasites, the mosquitoes are there, so that's the cycle will be happening there. Land usage, agriculture land, urbanization, as you know all this. So the agriculture land is getting reduced. the yields are increasing, and this leads to a lot of the congestion in urban areas. The slums are available. The slums doesn't have much of water facilities, so we have people do store the water in artificial containers. So these containers help the mosquitoes to breed. And there is also community ecology. People living close to the forest areas and agricultural areas do get diseases like yellow fever. And Zika is a very good example in recent times. Climate change, the change climates, we can see that the monsoons are delayed, the summers are extended, the temperatures are extending. There's a lot of things are happening in climate change itself. And then evolution, the pathogens, vectors are evolving, vectors are developing resistance or tolerance, pathogens are also developing resistance for drugs like the chloroquines and other malarial, anti-malarial drugs. Then the hosts, the people are also getting vulnerable because their dressing sense also has become little less. Earlier, people used to cover themselves with more things. Now people are using a lot of shorts and other dresses, so t-shirts and shorts. They are exposing themselves, so they are more prone for the mosquito bites. Seasonality of mosquitoes are also changing. Disease transmission window is broadening. Earlier, we used to have the disease malaria season, means we have the season in the June, July, or something like that. Now the season is increasing. That is really threatening for us. The newer areas are coming under the endemic situation. The places where the diseases are not known, now they are known to be in endemic areas. Next slide, please. So then let us talk about the mosquitoes and breeding places. Next, please. The life cycle we have already discussed. Most of the life cycle of most of the time of the mosquitoes, they spend in water, like the eggs and the larva. For the 4 different types of larva stages, then pupa and adults. Usually it takes about 7 to 10 days time, and afterwards then we have the adults. So usually we target, we recommend to do a lot of larviciding wherever it's possible. Prefer to do larviciding because they are confined in certain breeding areas, and it's easy to kill them. So wherever is possible, wherever we can locate the breeding sites, we have to preferably do the larviciding. So this is one of the tips which we can recommend and promote, and the government of India and other governments, public health and the WHO also gives emphasis on the larvicidal or larval management methods. Next slide, please. So this is the life cycle of Aedes, and Aedes mosquitoes lay eggs singly. They are a single black color, and they lay eggs in usually in artificial containers. We can discuss more on that. Next slide, please. So these are the characters of some of the mosquitoes. We call them as binomics of mosquitoes. Very, very important for us to understand as a professional mosquito management experts. So this is endophagic. I'll be explaining a little bit slightly on this so that we can understand the behavior of the mosquito, so that we can have the tools and the methods can be decided based on the behavior of the mosquitoes. Otherwise, we'll be just spraying the chemicals into the air. What is endophagic? Endophagic is nothing but the mosquitoes. When the mosquitoes are coming inside the house and taking the blood or feeding, that is known as endophagic. Phagy means eating. Exophagic, as the word says, exo means outside, phagy means eating again. So when the mosquitoes are biting outdoors, they are usually known as exophagic mosquitoes. If you take Aedes mosquitoes, Aedes albopictus particular variety, they are usually exophagic mosquitoes. And we have some other species of mosquitoes which are exophagic. Endophilic mosquitoes which are resting inside are endophilic. Mosquitoes resting outside, they are known as exophilic mosquitoes. Zoophagic mosquitoes or zoophilic mosquitoes are the mosquitoes which get attracted towards the animals and eat or take blood from the animals. They are known as zoophagic mosquitoes. They trouble more on the animals like the buffaloes, cows, goats, and birds, and they have the other options also. And the anthropophagic mosquitoes are the mosquitoes which prefer to take blood from the human beings. They are very, very specific, like Anopheles stephensii. One example we call them. They are highly anthropophagic. They like to take the blood from the human beings. Heliophilic mosquitoes are the mosquitoes which rest and they like the sunlight, so they go out, and then they like the beach places to be on a lighter sense. So these are some of the characteristics of the mosquitoes which we should understand, so that we can plan our strategies based on the behavior of the mosquitoes. So this is not common, or this is not standard for one particular species of mosquitoes worldwide. It will change from the location to location. So if you are having a mosquitoes in Delhi, if the particular species of mosquito is endophilic, it's not guaranteed that the same species of mosquito is endophilic in Bangalore. So there is a difference. So we need to understand this information based on the expertise available with the local public health department people or entomologists. There are a lot of entomologists available in the district wise. So we can check the information locally and take this information. So this is very, very important for us if you wanted to become really the masters of the mosquito management. Next slide, please. So this is a nice, interesting thing which I always like to put it. If 10 mosquitoes bite each person per night in Delhi, the city is losing approximately 300 liters of blood per day. So which is almost a little higher than the blood may be available in the blood banks of the Delhi. This is very interesting facts which we should know as a professional pest management professionals. When you are going and approaching and talking to the prospective customer, if you are bringing this type of the awareness, scientific facts, or the truth, the confidence about you and your capability to handle that particular control operation will be higher. So please collect this type of information, trivia basically, and talk to your customers so that it will increase your value. Thank you very much. Next slide, please. So these are breeding grounds of mosquitoes. Manoj, you can go a little quicker, so I can just, these are breeding sites, this construction site. Then this is important here. You can see this. These are the lavatories, and then the vent pipes through these. Also, the mosquitoes can go inside and breed inside. The simple technique, what these guys, one of the pest management professional has done is he has covered these vent pipes with a treated mosquito net. This treated mosquito net, he has used Solfac EW, which is recommended for treating the bed nets. So he used this product, and then he covered this entire thing. Very simple technique. Sometimes you don't require to bring in rocket science to control mosquitoes. Simple techniques like this can help a lot in saving the time and give a permanent cure. So he has done this impregnation of these nets with Solfac EW, one of the end-use products, and then he had got excellent results from this simple technique. Next slide, please. Then we have the sumps. Then we have water places, meter charges, and then these are the important things. So not only that, and then used tires. Next, please. Then flower pots, then air coolers. This is important. These are overhead tanks which are there on top of the buildings where people store. See, this is from the Bombay. Bombay Municipal Corporation has got a very nice application methods of covering the overhead tanks. This comes under the Covels Act of 1921, Bombay Act, or we call it as Bombay Act, and this is being accepted and approved and then implemented in several other countries also. We can proudly say that this is one act which is being implemented. Say, for example, Singapore takes this particular act, and then they have controlled the mosquitoes there. This is hermetically sealed overhead tanks, which is being implemented in Bombay, and a lot of other cities also started doing this. This prevents the entry of mosquitoes inside the overhead tanks and stops breeding. Unfortunately, what happens is sometimes the people go there and check and then leave this the lids open so that the mosquitoes can go inside and start breeding. Nobody bothers later, and no, the mosquitoes breeding starts there. Sometimes, which I have seen very clearly in Delhi NCR areas, is that sometimes we have the overhead tanks, and then the monkeys and then other animals will come there because of the heat and other things. They remove these lids and they take bath inside the overhead tanks, and then they leave it out. And sometimes the dust storms and then the winds also will blow away the top lids. So as a professional, the professional pest management people, when you are controlling mosquitoes in a large township and area, please have a look at this type of overhead tanks and covers, whether they're properly sealed or not. If not properly sealed, you can also have the lock and seal methods. Next slide, please. So this is faulty. You can see them. No, so this same method is same. This is as per the law, but not properly done. So the mosquitoes can go through the gap which is available between the lid and the slab. They can no. They require only less than half an inch place so that they can go there and lay eggs. So one mosquito can lay almost 480 eggs in its lifetime. So 120 eggs per time. So 480 mosquitoes can come out through a single female mosquito in its lifetime. Next slide, please. The nalas, we all know that. Unfortunately, what happens? They are all covered properly, but the slope will be nice. Unfortunately, because of the human interference, we keep them blocked, and then the mosquitoes start breeding them. Overhead tanks again. Inspection is very, very important. Next, please. Yeah, again, the man-made breeding habitats very, very good for mosquitoes to breed, especially the dengue mosquitoes. They're all man-made floral county. This is again man-made construction site. All of a sudden stop. So we have the mosquitoes like Aedes aegypti mosquitoes, Aedes albopictus, two types of mosquitoes which can cause the malaria, the dengue here, chikungunya, and Zika. So we can always identify them by way of their markings on their thorax part. So Aedes aegypti mosquitoes, which are primarily the dengue vectors, will have a lyra-shaped markings on their thorax part, whereas albopictus, you can always see albo means white, pictus means the markings. It has a single line on its thorax side, very easy to identify them. So there are two different types of major vectors of dengue and chikungunya, prevalently available all across the globe. So these are all artificial sites for the mosquito breeding grounds. So rainwater harvesting is one thing. People are mandatorily, sometimes in some cities, it is mandatory that we need to collect rainwater for harvesting. So here on the right side corner, you can see the rainwater harvesting the pot or container. It's not properly covered there. So the mosquitoes can go there and breed there and then cause a lot of havoc in and around the places. Next slide, please. So we need to do the inspection. Inspection is very, very important. Artificial containers. Again, people start doing, and then coconuts. Now immediately after the summer, a lot of coconuts are being used because people drink coconut water for beating the summer's heat. So afterwards, what happens is all these coconut shells are not discarded left and right every places. These are the beautiful and very interesting breeding sites for the dengue vectors. Tree holes are also very key. Whenever you are doing in areas where we have a lot of greenery and tree holes, don't miss the tree holes. So that is very, very important. And we have a cement-like substance which is available in the market where we can cover these tree holes permanently, or put the sand and then the little bit of rubbles and stones. We can do that, and I can give exactly the brand name of the particular cement-like substance where it can go inside, and it will not cause any damage to the tree. And it is a permanent solution which can go into this type of tree holes. Nice. Next, please. And then these are money plants. So a lot of corporate offices, when you are doing, if any of our pest management professionals doing the mosquito control in corporate offices, please take care of these money plants. These money plants, many problems. So this people might think that it will bring money, but unfortunately, it will once the dengue comes, you lose a lot of money out of this particular money plants. So please take care of the water which is there and change it every once in a week. Put a schedule if you wanted to keep this plant. Most preferably, don't use this type of plants in offices. And then if at all you wanted to use the plants, put a little bit of salt in the water or discard the water weekly once. Put the schedule of like Monday or every Friday, whenever you are going off from the office, just discard the water and clean it and replace the plants with water. And then we have the mosquitoes where they breed. They have all the tree holes, cesspons, cesspools, wherever you think they have breeding sites, leaf axils, gutters, sewage tanks, so no slow flowing streams, rooftops. This is also important. Sometimes we need to climb up and see the rooftops. I have seen mosquitoes breeding on the rooftops when the rooftop canals on top are blocked with the dust or any other obstructions. Next, please. So how do we do the management, mosquito management? We have the integrated mosquito management, IMM or IVM, we call it integrated vector management or mosquito management. We need to educate the people first. That is very, very important in terms of mosquito management. Where they breed, how they breed. People are not aware. So we need to tell them. And thanks to the governments, so they're taking proper steps in putting the jingles and other advertisement materials and observing the National Dengue Day like this. Public health departments are doing excellent job in educating the customers. As a professional pest management people, we are also part of the health protectors of these countries. So we need to proudly take the responsibility of what government is doing, part of it, and educate the customers wherever we are meeting. Tell them these are the breeding grounds. And we need to empty them or do that so that they will also do the thing. And then we do the conduct surveillance and then study the mosquitoes, remove the standing waters, kill adult mosquitoes, kill larvae. So this is strategy of integrating the mosquito management. So we have natural predators which will take care in the environment, which are the enemies of mosquito larvae and adult mosquitoes, but their role is very, very minimum. They will attack the mosquito larva when there is no other food, or other sometimes they preferentially eat the mosquito larva, like the chironomids and some of the fishes. We know the gambusia fish, guppies, and we also have the cyclopses and other things. They do eat mosquito larvae. Toxorhynchitis mosquitoes, they eat the mosquito larvae. And also the adults, like adults are eaten by the bats and frogs and the spiders, dragonflies, etc. Next, please. So the mainstay, what we have is the chemical control. Chemical control of the mosquitoes is the main tools what we have. And in chemical control also we have the larviciding, we have indoor research spray, we also have the personal protection, and also have the space spray. These are the 4 components of the mosquito management by using the chemicals. Of course, we can also have the biological tools in doing larviciding, like the bacterial BTI, and we also have the safer and greener products like the chitin synthesis inhibitors or zonal hormone analogs, like the pyriproxyphens and then the diflubenjurons. And this type of greener chemicals, chemistries also can do the larviciding. Indoor residue sprays, we have very advanced synthetic pyrethroids, which are safe to the environment, safe to the human beings, are being used in indoor residual spray. And also we have the personal protection, where people can use the creams and lotions and use bed nets and the mosquito coils and other things as a personal protection. And space sprays. In space sprays, we also already we have the indoor residual sprays and outdoor residual sprays. We go into details of each strategy. Next slide, please. And the challenges in vector management are, unfortunately, we have very limited tools, and we have to make best use of them. No, we can see them here. So very limited tools. No, that's why we need to have a very judicious use of the products we need to use. So that's why we have WHO also has written one book. I can share the book if somebody wants as a soft copy. Judicious use of the products for vector management, something like that. So there is need of the products to be used judiciously, because we don't have many tools coming up in the market. And it takes 9 to 10 years to introduce one new molecule, and takes billions of rupees to invest in the development of new chemistry with the different modes of action. So it is also our responsibility as a professional pest management professionals to use our products as per the doses recommended by the companies. And also we need to do the sprayings where it is required, how it is required, when it is required. It's not that we are spraying left and right, blanket spray. So we need to have judicious use of these products. So we are called, then only we are known as professionals in our management of the vectors. Next slide, please. So regular field survey is very, very important. We don't require to spray the areas where we find mosquito breeding. Otherwise, we don't require to do the blanket spraying of the products. Right? So we have the places like this. So survey is very important. Leaf axils, don't forget to look at the leaf axils. In one of the places, these are the photographs which I have taken with one customers in Hyderabad, where there's a lot of greenery happening, and the primary vectors of the dengue and chikungunya are breeding inside this. And of course, there are also other species of mosquitoes which are found breeding in this type of axils. So don't ignore them. So please have an eye on the leaf axils. Of course, we have the products like the granules, which can be used in this type of containers and then leaf axils. So we have artificial containers. Discard them, very easy to do education and then do it. This is one more thing which I noticed in Telangana State Road Transport Corporation. These buses are coming inside in some locations and stopping there and then going. These mosquitoes are being transported by these cars and vehicles. And it's also important to do some control measures here. So one of our pest management professional based out of Hyderabad is also doing like a type of indoor usually fogging inside the buses, so that the mosquitoes from the areas where the diseases there are coming and then infecting in other areas where there's no disease. So this is also very critical. This is also a business potential where we can see and then look at it. Cars, we have seen the cars also not transporting mosquitoes from areas to one area to other areas. This is very, very important when you are having large areas for vector management or mosquito management. Say, for example, industrial township, or this is a place in Hyderabad where more than 1,700 acres of land is given for mosquito management to a professional company or a team. And the first thing what they did was they divided the entire area based on the wind direction and also the number of houses and other things into 31 different zones, and they allotted their field staff to do the control there. In some areas they do larviciding, some areas they do the fogging based on the breeding sites and availability of breeding sites and mosquitoes and mosquito counts. They also do the mosquito counts count, and then they see that okay, this particular species of mosquitoes are there, so that we can do this type of things. So in the areas of 23, say for example, this sector of 23 is an area which has got a lot of adult mosquitoes. They are doing a lot of fogging there or adult siding there in areas quoted there, number 23. In areas like 15, 13 and 10, these are residential quarters where a lot of people are staying, and they do a little bit of larviciding, and also they do evening times the outdoor fogging. In areas like 24, this is the park area where the children are playing this, so they don't do much of work there. They just do some bit of management, physical management there. So this is very, very important when you are taking up the area. Stratify the area based on the knowledge which you have, and then do the operations very, very easy. The entire area, 1,700 acres of land, is being done by just 12 people. This includes the supervisors as well as the ground operators. They do it to teams. One team is expertise on doing larviciding, another team is expertise on doing the adult siding, including the IRS or the outdoor fogging or indoor fogging. So this is how they did this work. It's very, very important and very interesting. So larviciding, so the places where you have the larvae, we can do that. Next, please. Then indoor residual spray, this is how we do it. Next, please. Then space spraying indoors, we can do that. Then we can also do the spraying in outdoors. This is mandatory. Again, it's the potential for pest management professionals that wherever the buildings are being under construction, it is mandated by the municipal corporation authorities when the settlers are there or whether the construction workers are there. It is the responsibility of the construction company to do the anti-mosquito measures. So this is also a potential business opportunity for us as a professionals. Next slide, please. The personal protection, so we all know that we discussed this. Next, please. Community education, this also we discuss. Next, please. So this is the adaptation of new technologies. So we need to have, we should not go for the the old technology. If somebody is there in the house, look further from the main door. So when the wall is not there, still the person is looking at through the windows, because this is the old technologies, right? So we need to adapt with the new products, whatever the products we have launched. So we need to upgrade our skills, and these are the best opportunities. By attending these webinars, we can always do the technologies upgradation through attending this type of webinars. So we have the larvicide formulations, we have wettable powders, we have granules, we have concentrates and the tablets, which each type of formulation is designed to be used in different types of breeding sites and breeding habitats of the mosquitoes. Next, please. So if you come to the product offerings from NVU, we have Baraki granules. The moment they are granules, it is very, very good to be used in the areas where the larvicides cannot reach the water surfaces. When they are covered with grass surfaces and the grass is preventing, we can always use the granules. So we have wonderful product by name pyrifloxifene. It is IGR product, which is green product, which is safe to the environment and safe to the non-target organisms. These particular granules are very handy, very effective in controlling the mosquito larvae. Next slide, please. We also have where to apply. We all know that nalas, open drains, floor drains, septic lines, fountains, ornamental ponds, receptacles, scraps, etc., etc. So we can use this type of things in the larval habitats. So method of application, we have different types of the tools to use the larvicides. I'm not going to details. Usually some of these products, weekly ones. So some of the latest products which we have in our product range, like the diflubenzuron product or the pyrifloxifene, can work up to 3 weeks as a residual products. So we have the Bilarv 25 WP wettable powder. This particular product can be used mixed in the water and can be sprayed. This is also an insect growth regulator, IGR type of product, which will inhibit the chitin synthesis in insects. So it is quite effective in preventing the emergence of the adult mosquitoes. It also has got some efficacy on the pupal stages. Next, please. And we have the adult siding now. So in space spraying, we have the adult control by using the spray space. As I mentioned, we can do the indoors as well as outdoors. This can be used by a thick fog, and sometimes you don't have the fog when you are using ULV. Next time, please. So we have a new product, very unique product, India's first water-based product for fogging, which is known as aqua kevothrin. As the name suggests, aqua means water. This is water-based product having the deltamethrin, and this can be used in different type of environments. Very, very effective. It uses only, we can use water as a medium. You don't require to use diesel or kerosene, as we know that diesel and kerosene are having a lot of problems. And also the kerosene and diesel availability is less nowadays. Kerosene is almost not available in public domains, and diesel very expensive. That's why we need to use the products like aqua kevothrin, very, very effective. And it also has got a technology known as F-fast technology, which resists the evaporation, so that the material, the fogging particles which are there in the environment can retain for more time efficaciously in the environment, so that this residual action in the environment will be much higher compared to the traditional products. So this has got a patented technology of F-fast and very low rates of application rather than putting the entire chemicals into the environment. It uses very, very less dosage, and it's also a biodegradable, so there's no environmental accumulation, and it's not flammable. That's very, very important. Next slide, please. Space spray applications, as we already discussed, it has got very good efficacy for in case of emergency epidemic situations. The only option we have is to go for the fogging operations. Right. So for that, we need to also have the better knowledge whether the mosquitoes are endophilic, endophagic, exophilic, exophagic. These are the type of bionomics of the mosquitoes which are very, very critical. Right. Next, please. Next, please. Next slide, please. Next, please. So we have the cold fogging. There are a lot of advantages with the cold fogging. It is being recommended in most of the countries to go for cold fogging. It's lower application rates, and because it's lower application rate, the cost is also low. It's more efficient application because of the low volume which is required. May use water-based products and low risk and low fire hazard. And there's no traffic hazard also. This is one interesting feature. When you are applying the wind fog, then the traffic on the roads needs to be stopped, because most of the times the mosquitoes emergence, the density of mosquitoes is much higher during the sunset time, between 6 and 8 o'clock in the night. That's the time where the mosquitoes come and start swarming around the places, and that's also the time where the mosquito, the traffic on the roads also will be high, because people will be coming out from the offices and reaching their homes. So when they are doing the fogging, the vehicles will also need to be stopped, because otherwise there will be some accidents might happen. So with this type of cold fogging, there is no requirement of doing that, because it doesn't produce the fog or the clouds in the obstructing the traffic on the roads. Next slide, please. Of course, there is a method of using that. So this aqua cavitrin does give a lot of good efficacy, as I mentioned, a fast technology. So when you are doing all this fogging, inform all the concerned people about the operation. The fogging should not be conducted when it is raining. So otherwise, the rain droplets will bring down the efficacy, and then they mix with rainwater, and it also gets drained off. And then when the wind velocity is with higher, so we cannot do the fogging, because it is more than 15 kilometers per hour. If it is there, you should not use, otherwise the fog particles will get drifted away, and there will not be any efficacy in that particular areas. Right. So these are some of the conditions, and the cold fogging is also recommended by the National Centers for Vector-Borne Disease Control, NVBDVCP, or NMEP earlier it is known as. This is the central government authority which gives the directions for all the states, municipal corporations, municipalities on what type of products to be used, when to be used, how to be used, what are the dose recommendations. They are the highest authority in the country for recommendation of these products. They also recommend the cold fogging through their wide circular to all the states and municipal corporations. Next slide, please. So thermal fogging, as you know, that thermal fogging uses a lot of heat, and the product is combusted, and then the fog comes, and with this fog, the mosquitoes get killed when they come in touch with these particles. Next slide, please. So the method of application you must be knowing. So advantages, it has got visible fog, especially the people during the election times, or when they require, when there's a lot of pressure from the public, they do use the thermal fogging. It's a good public relations. It reduces the operator exposure, because the particle size is much bigger compared to the cold fogging. The disadvantages are the diluents, like the kerosene and diesel is required. Householders may obstruct the penetration. Generally, whenever this fogging machine comes, the sound of the machine comes, people do close their windows and doors, and they shut everything. So which is not very good. Sometimes the fog should go inside the houses so that mosquitoes can get killed inside. It's high cost, as we mentioned. This kerosene and diesel, the diluents are costlier. The machine operators is very high risk, because the temperature of the fogging machine sometimes with burn hands and by accidents. It can cause traffic hazards, as we mentioned, in urban areas. Water-based products, we have a lot of advantages about water-based products like aqua cavitrin. Water is as a natural choice for dilution, readily available everywhere. You don't require to do, buy it, carry it along with you. It is available everywhere. Environmentally acceptable. It reduces pollution, low cost, clean, easy to handle. There's no odor. This is very, very important. People don't get any smell of it, so very good. So which means a lot of acceptance by the community where you are doing these operations, eliminates the risk of fire. And the product is also evaluated by World Health Organization's pesticide evaluation scheme in 2005. And it's also evaluated by the National Institute of Malaria Research, which is the premier organization for malaria control strategies development in India. And it is easy to produce optimal size droplets. It can be used as a ULV, cold fog, or thermal fog as well. It can be used both indoors and outdoors. That is very advantageous with this particular water-based space spraying product we have from NVU, Aqua Cavitrin. Next slide, please. The indoor residue spraying. So we have indoor residue spraying, as you all know. Some people must be already using this spraying techniques on the walls. So when the mosquitoes are endophagic and endophilic, this is one good technique which can be used. So we all know that what type of contribution DDT has done, what type of contribution Solfac WP10 has given to this country. A lot of malaria has been reduced by using of Solfac WP10 in the national program worldwide as well. So this is a very well-known product, wettable powder 10% cyfluthrin, fantastic product for indoor residue spray. It gives a lot of efficacy on resting mosquitoes. And we also have the Solfac EW, which is a liquid-based liquid formulation, emulsion oil in water. So this is the formulation which can be used for bed net impregnation, also can be used as a surface spray for control of mosquitoes and houseflies and the cockroaches. So it has got a residual action of up to 3 months, and fantastic products. When we can use them. I have seen some of the pest control operators spraying this on the door curtains and window curtains of some of the customers, so that the entry of prevention of the mosquitoes can be done by way of treating these curtains and window curtains and door curtains with this particular product. This is fantastic product to be used, can be used for impregnation of fabric. So we have seen this product being used in some of the poultry farms for gunny bags being dipped, used on this for fly management. Very good results there. So this can be used in different formats, right? As whatever you are doing, the mosquito management strategy should be local and focal. This is the point and the key message which I want to give you. There is no blanket mantra for snake bite and scorpion bite. The mantra for snake bite is different. The mantra for scorpion bite is different. So we need to have the expertise, knowledge for the local and focal control. Here we can see the bowler. The bowler is going to do this particular ball to the batsman. So the captain is aware, and the bowler asks the entire field to be there. And then what happened in the next is everybody's guess. The batsman was out. So we need to have this type of local and focal strategies. And yes, of course, there are a lot of times we hear from the pest management professional that there's no budget, sir. No, sometimes we have only this much quotation. We can only give this much. Of course, they are there. And there also we have seen the key professionals who has got expertise and reputation do demand good rates. I have seen in several customers who are working with key customers, they do demand a good price for the value of the work which they do. Okay, as a conclusion, what we can talk about is know your mosquito well. I think hopefully today's session we understood a little bit about mosquitoes, and know your customer well. That's also important, how much the customer can know, pay, and then what is their willingness, what is required by the customer. Sometimes we tend to give over promise, sometimes we also under promise also. So we need to understand the customer and give them the right solutions, what is expected by him. And then there's no single method to be the best. So we have the larviciding, we have adulticiding, we have other methods. So we can have the combination of all these things. So survey, plan, recommend, execute, follow up, and record is very, very important. Mosquito management is an art than the science. We need to understand the mosquitoes' behavior, mosquitoes' dynamics, and do this as diligently as possible, commercially viable to us. Right? We have a limited resources, as we all understand as a professionals. But fortunately, we have a fantastic products available through NU. We have larvicides, we have adulticides, we have cold fogging chemicals, indoor residence fogging. This is one particular company where we have all the solutions, complete package of solutions for the effective management of mosquitoes, that too in a safer concerns with the environment as well as the persons who are spraying the products. So we are in the right position right now. As I mentioned earlier also, since we don't have much of products coming in our pipeline, we need to use the products judiciously. That's why webinars like this will help us to understand the products well, as well as the behavior of the mosquitoes very well. So this is what the key message of today's. Then we have rest in peace the mosquitoes.